Hello, this is Adam Levy. Welcome to another edition of my Guitar Tips video blog series. Each and every Friday I post a little bit of guitar wit and wisdom and whatever right here on this channel, and if you dig it you can subscribe. There's a little subscribe button right down below. This week's guitar tip is warm up your ears and your hands. Now, if you are somebody who practices a lot, you might already have some kind of warm-up routine that you do, just something that you do at the start of your practice time that gets your hands acclimated to the instrument, get some blood circulating, maybe stretch out a little bit, just like if you were going to do some exercise, like going for a run or something, you would stretch out first and warm up. And I was talking about this with my friend Ken Rosser. He's a great guitar player here in Los Angeles. And he mentioned something that he sometimes does at the start of a practice session that just helps his ears get acclimated, gets his ears and hands kind of warming up at the same time. And I'm going to share it with you because I found it really valuable and fun and interesting. So what it is you play a 12-bar blues. Let's say we're in the key of G. And in each measure or bar, we're only going to play a whole note. So it's not a lot of fast-moving melodies. We're just going to play, a whole note. Except we're actually going to play two notes at a time. So if we're in G, we might, these aren't the only notes you could play, but I happen to fall on them. So that's it. So that would be bar one. And then in bar two, you need to play two notes that are going to make some kind of sense on a C chord or C7 chord, because that's where we'd be on a blues in G. So you might choose these two notes, or these two notes, or these notes. There's a lot of choices that you could make, and so on. So we're just going to play a pair of whole notes in each bar. But I don't want you just to think about chord tones and how things relate to the chords that are happening behind us, but also think about melody. So if we think of the top note as a melody and the bottom note as like a secondary melody or accompanying note, we'll get some interesting pairs. And as we do that, our fingers are moving very slowly, just whole notes, and our ears can really tune into hearing the separate notes, and instead of just playing a big chord where you don't even really hear that as notes, you hear that as kind of a big just chunk. We don't want to just have a chunk. We want to have two notes and really be able to hear both of those. So I'll stop talking about it and just do the exercise now, and hopefully you can see what I mean as I play this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do it again. 2, 3, 4. So I don't know if you could follow along. I did a few things in the middle there. Now, this is not a set thing that I do. I was just improvising. But as the G7 and C7 were changing, I got into this thing where things were right next to each other. So you don't necessarily have to move around. What I want you to do is follow your ears. And as one note is ringing, or two notes are ringing, think about, get hungry for some new thing to happen. And then feed that hunger by going there, even if staying there is the thing that maybe that's going to feed your hunger for some new stuff. But in other words, don't just listen for the four beats and then think of where you're going to go next after that. While all the notes are ringing out, you could be listening ahead to where you want to go. That's I said that not in the most efficient way, but I hope you got what I was saying. You know, as the notes ring out, listen ahead to the next thing. Don't wait until it's time to move to suddenly jump to whatever. Okay. I found this exercise really fun. It's a way to make music where you're thinking about counterpoint, you know, two melodies rather than just chunks of familiar kind of shapes. We're really exploring the guitar in a more melodic and contrapuntal way, and I think that can really pay off over time and open up a whole bunch of possibilities on the guitar that you wouldn't get to if you were just playing chord shapes all the time. So that's really the exercise. I find it good for my ears and for my hands, and good for the communication between my ears and my hands, and then how they relate to my inner ear or my imagination or whatever you want to call it. So that's the tip. Warm up your ears and your hands. And if you're not already subscribed to Guitar Tips, I hope that you will click on the little red subscribe button right here below, and that'll make sure that you get each tip fresh off the press each and every Friday. And if you want to see what else I'm up to besides this video channel, you can go to adamlevy.com, and you can see what gigs I'm playing or what records I'm involved in, or really that's everything that I do that has to do with music is right there. So thanks a lot. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and hope that you will take good care and keep growing and growing and growing.